Hello, welcome to the new episode of TOBBCAST. Today we have three best students in all our TOBBCAST episodes. You ask some questions about how perfectly they improved their English skills. Now I'm going to ask some questions to them so that you can be revealed and apply their strategies to your language learning journey. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
Thank you.
I don't think that you need an introduction,
Yeah,
but would you like to share your names at least?
I'm Rukiye.
I'm Zeynep.
I'm Ayman.
Okay, let's directly head forward to the topic. First of all, let's go to your baby steps. Let's think that you are little children and talk about the very first steps that you took in this journey. How did you start learning language? Let's start with Zeynep, then Ayman, and Rukiye.
Okay. Actually, I don't even remember the exact beginning process of this whole English learning journey because English always in my life, and but I believe like after I started seeing English in school, I was just curious about English. Of course, my English level was not that good. Actually, my grades were really low in English. But then as the time passed, I started loving it. And actually, I don't think that there's any exact beginning in this.
There isn't an exact beginning, like
Yeah.
you didn't start learning at second grade or third grade, or I don't know, maybe saw some English words from your favorite TV series, like animations or cartoons.
Oh, I was listening English music a lot. I was not listening any Turkish musics. I was only listening English music, and I think that it helped me a lot to building this accent.
All right, so basically, I started learning English when I was 5 by accident. So basically, I'm really into games. You guys know that from the previous episodes. Basically, my dad had just downloaded Minecraft for me, and I started playing. And because I was 5, I really didn't know anything in the menus. And I didn't know there was a language option and that I could change the language to Turkish. So I had to play the game with like the English setting on. So I basically learned to connect every single word in the game with the actual thing that I saw in real life. So basically I mostly learned every single word in Minecraft to its like English equivalent. And so that's basically how I had something to build upon. And then after that, I started getting into like Discord communities, talking to people, and after that, it kind of just grew on its own. I didn't really have any English lessons or anything. I basically just went into it, and it just automatically built upon itself, I guess.
Okay, and Rukiye.
Okay, so technically we've been learning English since the primary school, but the first time that I'd say that I started learning the English was when I was 11, and I first started to secondary school. The English lessons started to get more complex and complicated. We started learning how to make sentences and, of course, more vocabulary. And then my brother was like, okay, so if you want to improve your English, then you need to do something about it. Then I started watching TV series. Like last time, we did a trivia episode about the series Friends with Zeynep. And that was actually the very first series that I ever watched. And it helped me improve my English skills so much. And then after that, it just started coming. I watched so many TV series. And then I improved myself.
Okay, so it seems that all of you have some kind of motivation to learn English, but you never saw the English language as a lesson.
No.
No,
Yeah,
no. Neither did I. Because the first time I started learning English was because of my secondary school. But why did I learn English? Just because of the games that I couldn't understand, just like Amen. Any private teachers in your past?
No.
Nope.
Okay, no private teachers, no private teachers, no private teachers. As you say, we didn't have any private teachers. We didn't attend to private schools. And I don't think that they invested quite amount of money. Did you?
No.
No.
No, okay. So all by ourselves, we try to acquire, not learn, acquire this language just because of our needs. My need for gaming, Eymen's need for maybe communication through gaming, Zeynep's need for music
Yeah.
and TV series, and Rukiye's for understanding the series that she was watching. All right, good. So next step.
Okay.
Okay.
How frequently do you study nowadays? Or do you spare any amount of time for your language skills? Do you say yourself, okay, today I have to make some readings, I have to make some listening time, I have to spare some time for grammar? Who wants to start?
I could start.
Okay.
Right, so basically, I never took any lessons or said I have to go and study English. But that doesn't mean I've never studied it. I've studied it by implementing it into my life, into my regular life, everyday life. And when I open up YouTube, around 80-90% of the content I see is in English. So basically, I've I guess integrated myself with English. So my regular life involves dealing with English at a certain point. So basically, I learn English by just having it as a tool, I guess. When I'm looking up something on Google, I just always search it in English because that's what gets me the best results. So I guess you could, as well, the viewer at home, try to implement it into your life as a way to learn it. So yeah.
Okay, I totally agree with you, and I don't study English, by the way, right now. I used to study English like 2 years ago because I was just trying to improve my English, but it didn't help me like sitting down on the table and just studying. It didn't help me at all. Right now, I listen English music, listen English podcasts, read English books, but I'm not doing these things just for improving my English because I like English and it's a part of my life. So like Eymen said, I implemented English in my life.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
my life.
Ricky.
I totally agree with them. I think the biggest mistake that we make in the path of learning English is that seeing it as a lesson and not as a language. You see, I believe the last time that I studied English was last year, and it wasn't necessary also. I studied a bit grammar. It was kind of because of the ignorance. You see, if you're not in the very beginning, there's no need to study English because, like I told you, it's not a lesson, but it's a language. Well, if you're asking to me, it's all about passion and liking about the language.
Have you ever memorized any words, Rukiye?
When I was a 7th grader.
Just because of the exam?
Exactly, because our teacher gave us homeworks for us to memorize some words, and yeah.
Okay, but nowadays?
No, I never memorized them.
Okay. So if you are not tested, there is no need to memorize something.
Exactly, because eventually, by using the words, you're gonna learn them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And Zeynep? And Eymen?
No.
Any strategies to learn new words?
I mean, I guess just implement it into your life, you know?
Implement it into your life.
You know, when you want to learn something, try and learn it in English, sorry. So basically, you shouldn't see this as a test. Like, you shouldn't see it as, oh, I should look this up in English because I need to learn English. No. You could look at it as a tool. In general, if you could implement it into your life in a way that it benefits you, then you'll automatically learn English without even noticing it.
Oh, okay.
And I like to say something. If you like to learn, words, just try to learn it by images, because it's the most useful way to learn a language, I believe. And I was watching sitcoms and I didn't know any words. But while I'm watching it, I was just learning the words by matching the Turkish subtitle with the sentences that I hear. And then I was like, okay, they call this thing table, so it must be, masa in Turkish.
Okay.
So it's the best way learning English is but you're learning it by images.
Okay.
That's why I always say watch sitcoms and these kind of things.
I know you watched the same sitcoms again and again. So can we say repetition is a kind of useful in the path of language learning?
I'm not sure, but the last time that I watched The Office, I realized that the first time that I watched The Office, I was just watching it just to be watched, because I heard the show so much, and I was just curious about it. So I couldn't understand any words by the voices. But then the last time that I watched it, I realized that now I can hear the words in a better way. So I can say maybe, but I'm not sure about it. Repeating what you watch helps you. I'm not sure about it, but watching sitcoms definitely helps you.
Okay, all right. Emma said implementing the words into your life. Okay, you can implement the words while playing games, communicating with people in Discord. And you implement the words into your real life, and of course, Rukiye, how?
Can I start?
Yes,
Of course. I can't remember the exact name for this, but I once heard that there is actually a psychological explanation for implementing the non-native words that you've heard in your real life. You see, and I've actually experienced this before too. You see, I once was in the airport and there was a sign, and there was this word that I've never heard before. It was pedestrian.
Okay.
And then next day, I was watching a episode from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and I heard the exact same word in that series, pedestrian. And I was like, I just learned that word. That's amazing. How am I seeing it right now? There are actually a psychological meaning for you to see the words that you've heard before again and again. So even if you want it or not, you'll be implementing the foreign words to your life.
I see. I get it.
Unconsciously.
Unconsciously.
yes.
Zeynep.
So I don't know how to tell you this, but like 2 or 3 years ago, when I was just talking to my mom, I used to tell her to just give me a sentence. And she was just telling me a sentence, and I was trying to translate it to English in my mind. And, because I've heard from people that they were saying the daily basis words, try to learn the daily basis words. And I was trying to do it because whatever she thinks as a sentence is coming from a daily basis. So I was just testing myself by, translating it to English. If I can't do it, then I was just searching up the words and every meaning. I was just looking at every meaning of that word.
Okay. So you said I tried to translate them. At the beginning, all of the English language users are trying to translate the sentences in their mind and then say the words. But nowadays, do you find yourself translating it on your mind, or they just come out of automatically?
No, I'm not translating. They're just coming out of
You're not
automatically.
translating anymore.
Right now, even while we're talking, I'm sure all 4 of us are not translating what we're talking in our brains.
Exactly.
The reason for this is just because we are using it daily, as you said, on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And do you think that these podcasts are useful for language learning?
Yes.
They are totally.
Of course.
All right, advertisements. You can't skip this ad.
God.
All right, last question. As you realize, I don't have an accent because we all have Turkish teachers. We didn't have the access like you to the internet. The only thing that I could make English practice or listening practice is that tape recorder from the book Wow. But you have access to the internet. So how did you get these accents? And are you forcing yourself to make the accent?
I could go first.
Yes.
Okay.
So I don't really push myself to have an accent. I just have it in nature. I have it naturally. Have it in nature isn't okay. So Fun fact about this: basically, when I was over at my cousins, they're British and they don't know any Turkish, so I had to speak to them in English. After a week of staying there, my accent was like full British, and I guess that kind of made an echo, we could say. That kind of resonated with me, and my accent is full American right now. So I guess the people you're around kind of control your accents, you could say.
If he sent you to India, so would you get an Indian accent?
I would do this accent. It is very, I don't know. It is very skimmer-like.
Okay, let's switch to American. It's better.
All right, we're back to American. I can do like Russian as well, but that's from the game, so.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Okay.
Zeynep, what about you?
I'm not pushing myself to make an accent actually, because this is the way that I learned the English. I learned the English by watching sitcoms and listening music. So this is the way that I learned the English. I just repeated myself. But I believe that the accent that we're talking about doesn't only contain pronunciation. It also contains the rhythm of the language that you're speaking. Because if you speak the English with Turkish rhythm, with a full pronunciation, then you'll be still having a Turkish accent. That's my thought. So, reading books and listening podcast helps you a lot to improving this English rhythm.
Okay, the rhythm is important actually, not the accent itself. Rukiye has a similar accent to me, not the American, not the British, but a more clearer Turkish accent. Turkish people are underestimated, but most foreigner speakers like our accents because it's very clear. We push every word one by one. So, Rukiye, are you planning to change the accent, or are you happy with the way you speak?
I am actually very fond of the British accent, but when you just can't imitate it, you just can't. And the thing is, I'm happy that I have a clear accent. I mean, it's not hard for people to understand me. And sometimes I push myself to make an accent, but when I do, this time I'll be losing the concentration of the words that I'm making.
You lose the fluency.
Exactly. So accent is not my priority. I'm actually I'm happy about the way that I speak.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for listening to our students. They shared their invaluable experience with us, and as they see, they never see the language as a lesson. So the first thing that you need to do is to ask, why am I going to learn this language? And accept that it is not a lesson. See you next episode. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.